afternoon, everyone. Today we're holding a debate. On my left side we have the proposition and on my right side we have the opposition. Each team contains of 4 people who have the right to speak for 3 minutes. My name is Ivar and this is my co-jury Jaselyn, and on my left we have the timekeeper Roberto. Our debate is a statement. A man should have a wife for the family and a mistress for pleasure. Now I would like to invite the first speaker of the proposition.
A man should have a wife for the family and a mistress just for pleasure. When most of the people are hearing this statement, they think it's very strange and unreal, but when you really think about it, it actually is not. My name is Liv and I'm the first speaker of the proposition. We are the proposition because first of all, research shows that 79% of the relationships where the man has a mistress last a lot longer. Second of all, cheating is not always just about sex. According to the research of Dr. Narrow, it appears that 75% of the men cheat because they feel emotionally dissatisfied. This is because when a woman feels like her man is actually hers, she is not going to do anything anymore to make him feel wanted. She is not going to do anything anymore to keep the good tension between them. She basically takes her man for granted. And according to research of relationship therapist Newman, it appears that when you take your man for granted, he will not feel wanted or loved anymore. If a man does not feel those things, then that will be very bad for the relationship. And if you have kids, that will be very bad for the environment that your kids will grow up in. And as much as men love their woman, they actually have no idea how to solve their relationship problems, how to bring back the good tension in the relationship. And that's why we think that a mistress solves all those problems, because we have our own company ourselves. We're from the Woman Councilcy, and we are doing a lot of researches as well. And our research shows that having a mistress solves almost all of the relationship problems, because when a man has a mistress, he can look what he's missing for in another woman, and if he finds what he's missing, he will feel all the things that he was missing, and everything will be fine by then. So basically, a mistress solves all of the relationship problems. And last but not least, the Quran says that you are allowed to have 4 wives. So we don't see why having one mistress is a problem. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite the first speaker of the opposition.
Should men have a wife for the family and a mistress for pleasure? First of all, this is a very condescending remark towards all women worldwide. I think we're all familiar with the famous quote, "Behind every strong male, there stands a strong woman." Let's first evaluate what it means to be a woman. Women nowadays are typically career-oriented and hold great functions such as lecturers, lawyers, and business executives. Besides having these careers, they also typically run the household while supporting their spouse as well. We tend to underestimate what kind of burden this actually brings. This doesn't mean just watching soaps throughout the entirety of the day. This involves money management, housework, and being a role model to the kids. The proposition spoke about religion. Well, let's take Christianity for example. There are 2 billion Christians worldwide, and they take vows in the religion of their choice to stay faithful to each other till death do them apart. The key words here, people, are till death do them apart, not till mistress do them apart or lack of lust do them apart.
Point of information. You're saying that that you stay faithful to each other, but when a man is having a mistress, the woman knows about the mistress. So that's not being unfaithful because the woman knows.
And the Christianity states that you be faithful towards each other. You not lust other women. But great point. Okay. For a male to be allowed to have a mistress, you're also setting the wrong example for your kids. Think about instances such as siblings blaming each other and constantly fighting, because if the parents don't value each other, why should they? Or educational problems, children not being able to focus at school because mom and daddy are having issues. And last but not least, low self-esteem and loneliness. Does daddy not think we are good enough that he has to seek happiness in another household? Staying committed is a job of both parties in the marriage, because male and female were made to complete each other. Female encounter the same desire as men, but typically are able to withstand this because they put their household first and stand behind their beliefs. Personally, as a male myself, I think this is quite commendable. We could take an example to this. Can we please finally give women the respect they deserve and earn, and solve the ridiculous that men are a superior race and therefore should be granted an extra wife in the form of an extra perk in the form of a wife. It takes a real man to realize that one woman is enough. Let's not reward childish boys for their inappropriate behavior and uplift our women worldwide.
Now I would like to invite the second speaker of the proposition.
Okay, so first of all, the opposition talked about Christianity and being faithful to each other and only having one wife. But what do you have to say about the Pope abusing children and having sex with children? There's a lot wrong with Christianity and the way they go around having sex, so I don't think that's valid.
Now I would like to invite the second speaker of the opposition.
At first I want to say that I can't agree with your point of view. I think it's not possible for a man to have a wife and for the family and also a mistress for pleasure, because men don't have time to have a mistress. Men have to work full time, men have to meet friends, men have to go to the gym and play sports, so it's already they're already too busy to have
Point of information?
Yes.
Is this based on any studies?
Yes, this is based on an investigation that I found on Google Scholar.
Oh, okay.
So I think most men are even too busy to meet their own wife, so a mistress is particularly impossible, I think. It's also not possible when you talk about money. Many of you think maybe a mistress does not cost a lot of money, but you're wrong. In the beginning it will maybe cost not so much money, but it will change quickly. After a couple of months your mistress is no longer satisfied with only good sex. She wants you to buy her stuff. Now she wants to have everything, a dog, jewelry, food and other stuff. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite the third speaker of the proposition.
Hello, first I would like to react to the second speaker of the opposition. The opposition said a man does not have time and money for a mistress because he works a lot, he has to sport and he has to keep his wife happy. However, according to Mistress Kim Brown, mistresses in general don't do it for the money, but just for the pleasure. Also, a man won't even have a mistress if he simply does not have the time for it. Mistresses are meant to be stress relieving, and men will make the time for those moments because they love sex more than their friends. After a while, he might give his mistress some material support, but if he is not capable of giving money or a big amount of money, she will mind.
How do you know that men like sex more than friends?
Well, men think about sex all the time, and I guess you will skip a night with your friends over a night with your girlfriend. Okay, let's move on to my argument. According to the World Data Bank, there are more women than men in the United Kingdom and United States and in most countries of the world. That means a lot of women will end up without a man and won't get any attention. According to Dr. Walter Handy, women need sexual attention or they will go crazy and develop psychosis, which can lead to death. This means they have to go to mental institutions and recover. The mental institutions will get overfull because of all the single women. And that will cost you all more money because the government needs money to build the new institutions and pay the staff that is going to work there. This will not only hurt all the single women and mistresses who have to recover from a sickness they never asked for because she just wanted sex, but it will also hurt your wallet. This could be all prevented by giving a man a mistress. And also, having sex with your wife only is the same as eating in the same restaurant every day. You will get sick and tired of it.
Now I would like to invite the third speaker of the proposition.
Okay, to react on the third speaker of the proposition, the amount of single women in the world can simply be prevented by having some have sex with other men just for the sex, because there will always be women who are dissatisfied or have psychological problems on the side that are not related to sex. And I would like to point out that if relationships between parents of children aren't okay, the children will have psychological problems as well. And to move on to my own argument, I will repeat the statement: a man should have a wife for the family and a mistress for the pleasure. That pretty much makes it seem like women can be used as objects to satisfy the male part of a relationship. And when a man loves a woman, I feel like they should be life partners, and they should be fully invested in each other and not need another woman on the side. Because they have feelings too, and they can really be in love with someone and can be hurt if they are having relations with someone else. Now, aside from that, I know sex has a lot of benefits to the human body. According to the website Health, which makes use of real scientific researches, it can act like an antidepressant, relieve pain, and calm you down, among other things. Health, however, also tells us that it's pretty much common for either males or females to be dissatisfied after having sex. One of the tests showed that 1/3 of the women participating in the test had felt dissatisfied after sex at one point in their relationship. The so-called post-sex blues, or post-coital dysphoria as the smart people call it, can deceive men and women alike to think that their sexual relationship aren't intact. So theoretically, the same thing should occur if a man has a mistress as well. So having one wouldn't even help. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are having quite a debate right now with some very interesting things being said by this side of the room right here. Before I head on to a conclusion and explain why I think that the proposition team had the stronger voice during this debate, I'd like to address something that was what I feel like the opposition team was quite confused about. Yes, let's make one thing very clear. A mistress is not a side chick. There's a difference between a side chick and a mistress. A mistress is well known by the wife. The side chick is not. Yes, as Liv, Natascha, and Stefanie already explained, there's a huge difference. Alright. With that being said, we are now on moving to my conclusion. The proposition team, we've used relevant facts. We have laid contact with one of the world's biggest relationship experts. We've held surveys. We read books according to the female and the male brain. And yes, and all these sources together came to the same conclusion, which is a man should be allowed to have a mistress. Also, you all may know by now that we are also part of the Young Married Woman Consultancy Group, and every day we hear all kinds of stories of how women are tired of, they already got enough on their plates with their kids, with their household, with their in-laws, with their own parents, and having sex with our men all the time just doesn't fit in sometimes, which is okay.
Point of information.
Is he allowed? Because I'm the conclusion.
Yes, yeah.
He's allowed.
I would like to point out that if there are problems in a relationship with people being too busy to have sex, they can always resolve that through conversation with each other, so they can know about each other's problems.
That's true, but if that doesn't work, then a mistress is the perfect solution. Thank you. So yeah, they're too busy pleasing their man just doesn't fit in sometimes, and So why not let some other woman take care of the pleasure from the man? Therefore, you have a happy wife, happy man, happy children, and no divorce. Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite the last speaker of the opposition.
Well, hello, my name is Nadir. I'm gonna summarize what we talked about here. First, in reaction to the proposition, the statement is a man should have a wife for the family and a mistress for the fun. So, like, every man should have a mistress then, right? That's not what it's about. Summarize, we've talked about equality of women, the career, they have great jobs, so, yep. Religion, the religion, like Christianity, there are vows that you should be faithful to your wife as a man. You've talked about the children should be better off because they have a better, like, upraising and shit. My bad, I'm sorry. But I think they will clearly get psychological issues because yeah.
You say that the kids then will have a psychological issue, but when a man does not have a mistress and a wife is too busy with giving him everything that he wants and he desires, then there will be fights because a woman doesn't make a man feel wanted anymore. So there will be fights, and that is bad for children. A mistress is a solution for most of all the fights, so that will be a better environment for the kids to grow up in.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't think every marriage have fights in them, and growing up with two mothers and one father is like a little bit psychological.
Point of information. A mistress is not living in the household. She's completely behind the scene. She's just for the man. She's not living with the kids. The kids don't know her.
But the kids will eventually find out.
How?
Because nothing stays under the radar.
How do you know that?
Because the world is like that.
Okay.
Last but not least, sexual relations just don't calm down for the man. That's what we talked about. So in conclusion, a man should not have a mistress for the fun and a wife for the family. They should just have a wife for the family and the fun. Thank you, jury. Thank you, public, for coming.
We would like to thank you all for speaking, and as jury we will decide the winner in a few minutes.
We as the jury think you guys both did great. You guys both used point of information, and that was great. But we believe the proposition won this debate. They were standing strong. They used many sources, and they were standing there as a group. But the conclusion made it. How do you say that?
Made our final decision.
Yeah.
You were stronger, and you were, I think you had the best points in the final, and you came out with some, yes, what you just said. But as a team, you were many stronger. I think we think as a jury.
Yes,
That's it.